Hi everybody, welcome to the Bible study. We continue about Samson's life and this is the second session, Samson's marriage. All right, let's dive in. We're in Judges 14, verse 1. Samson went down to Timnah and saw there's a young Philistine woman. I know, now he was a grown man. I would say might be ready for marriage. When he returned, he said to his father and mother. Now let's go back a little bit. Philistines were ruling over Israel at that time. So they were all over. And so Samson saw a young Philistine woman. And Philistines, they do not intermarriage with, Samson's, like Jewish people, would not intermarriage with other ones. They consider uncircumcised, like wicked. Let's put it that way. When he returned, he said to his father and mother, I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife. So let's pause for a minute. God has lots on his life. He is like chosen one to do the purpose of God, to kill the enemies of Israel. He was raised in a Hebrew family to eat healthy and all specific culture and follow the law of Moses. Now, here, what I see, he might be very young, he's lacking wisdom. Whenever his eyes hit, and saw the woman was beautiful, he wanted for his wife. It's like, hey, it's not from my culture, it's a wicked culture. God will not allow that. And no matter how beautiful she is, she shouldn't be his wife first. Okay. Now let's see what the parents are. So he went to both parents and talked to them. He wants. So in that culture, the parents have to go. The father needs to go and ask that girl for marriage for his son. It's not like him going. They have to make before, like more like a covenant before, and then if the girl accepts him, the young boy, then they get married. So there's like custom, specific cultural thing. Verse 3, his father and mother replied, isn't there an acceptable woman among your relatives or among all our people? Like you couldn't find, in other words, you couldn't find none of the girls that there are among Jewish people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife? So their parents are asking him why he would do such thing, why he would go against the culture, against everything else what God told not to intermarriage with from another culture. And there is like if you respect what God tells you, you'll never go wrong. You always get in the right way. Why he would do such a thing? Out of wisdom. There's a certain age, I would say more younger age, they see the woman or the girl, they fell in love like eyesight. I think we all had been there. So at one point or the other in the young age. And that's it. No matter culture, no matter nothing. No matter God, no matter nothing. And this is bad. This is bad if you do not wait till God has which one has for you and you just pick up one of the whenever culture, because those are bringing lots of bad, like wickedness into the family, lots of distractions, lots of disagreements. Okay. But Samson said to his father, so he goes just with his father, left his mom on the side, because the father needs to go and ask the girl, get her for me. She's the right one for me. His parents didn't know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel. So the parents all of a sudden didn't know, wasn't this of the Lord to get married with a Philistine that he can attack? But then if you think deeper, if he will marry a Philistine, he will not attack Philistines because it's his own family by the blood, like by the blood of his wife. So the way I see it, this marriage will not work. When God is not there, then the other one is either God or the other one. So if that God doesn't approve it, then the other one, that marriage is in the other one's hands. All right, let's go next. So Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother as they approached. Their parents gave out. They thought maybe it's from the Lord. Who were to say no, since he's still insisting. And instead of seeking God's wisdom for their son, praying and saying prayer and ask God to reveal what is the right one for Samson, they just agree with Samson and they did to get the girl. As they approached the vineyard of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came roaring towards him. And this is more like a sign. God tells him, do not go that way. Send a lion towards him, that he will go and he will not do such a foolish thing. But of course, he is so empowered by God, with a strength, like I said, like Hercules. We saw the previous teaching, Bible study. On 6, verse 6, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. Like you see, the mouth is grabbing him by his mouth and torn the lion apart. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. He hid. So first, then, like to just say, then he went down and talked with the woman, and he liked her. First, he goes against God, what God had for his future. He wasn't searching within the family, or they used to even marry their cousins, marrying within the family. He would go to the enemy's place and he will get the wife from there. Second, he hid things from the parents about the lion. Like when I went towards there, I found lion came towards me and I torn the lion apart with my hand. So he hid those things from their parents, for his parents. He liked the girl. He fell in love with her immediately. I can say that the Philistines women were beautiful. I don't know. But definitely was not what God intended for him. Verse 8, sometime later, when he went back to marry her, later, because they have to make a place in the in the family, build another room for them from their parents' house. Is how it is, the tradition. So, and then we're watching her, and then after that, they will take her to to their house. So sometime later, he went back to marry her. He turned aside to look at the lion's carcass, like whenever was like remaining of the lion bones, and it is, and in it he saw a swarm of bees and some honey. So in the meantime, a bee swarm made a house there, and they had honey. Now, Jewish people, they maintain clean, and by the law of Moses, again by the law, they could not touch dead animals that were unclean. Okay, now look what he did. He scooped out the honey with his hands and ate as he went along. So, three things went against his culture, against what God had for him, by going after Philistine's woman. Second, he hid from the parents that he saw a lion and he torn apart. Third, he goes, even though they're considered unclean animals first, and you should not touch them at all, he scooped out honey, and so third, he ate from an unclean animal. That make him unclean as well by the law, by Jewish tradition and culture and law. So three things. He keep going against. It's like he has the power and so much strength, but lacking wisdom, and he doesn't follow what God has for him. So he scooped and he ate. Would you eat from a dead animal, even though it's honey? Maybe not. When he rejoined his parents, he gave them some to the parents, and they too ate it. But he did not tell them that he has taken the honey from the lion carcass. Carcass. Is that right? Yeah. Wow. So the parents got unclean as well. Wow. It's more like a curse coming over the family. Like he didn't tell us. So this is the second time doesn't tell his parents again. Going against parents, going against God, going against the culture, going like pretty much, it's like a curse landing on him. Wow. That's why I put a picture. And look at that in the dead animal. I would not touch it, but that's me. It could be anything, No matter how hungry I would be, that honey from the dead animal, I will not touch it. Verse 10. Now his father went down to see the woman, and there Samson held a feast as was customary for young men. When the people saw him, they chose 30 men to be his companions. Let me tell you a riddle, Samson said to them. If you can give me the answer within the 7 days of the feast, I'll give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. But who purchased those? Their parents. But he is making like riddles and jokes and all that. If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me you must give in the 30 linen. So either he gives them if they know, if not, they have to give him 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. 30, that's a big number. 30, that's a big number. Tell us your riddle, they say. Let's hear it. In that time they did tell riddles, and it says Daniel was very well known, Daniel from the Bible, well known to get all the riddles, like to tell what it was, what did they try to say. Okay. He replied, out of the eater something to eat, out of the strong something sweet. For 3 days they could not give the answer. Of course, because it's like nobody knew. He hidden all those, and it's hard to tell unless you have the wisdom of God and it comes over you like Daniel. Then you're able to come to what is going on. 15. On the fourth day, they say to Samson's wife, coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you and your father's house to death. Did you invite us here to steal our property? So they go after Samson's wife and threaten her that they will burn her and her father's house to make sure that they will not survive. And just to give them the riddle that they don't have to give Samson 30 sets of clothing. Now, look at his wife. Now, she's Philistine. If she would be different wife, like from his culture, this would not happen. 16. Then Samson's wife threw herself on him, sobbing, you hate me. You don't really love me. You've given my people a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer. I haven't even explained it to my father or mother, he replied, so why should I explain it to you? She cried the whole 7 days of the feast. So on the 7th day, he finally told her. Because she continued to press him, she in turn explained the riddle to her people. Of course, that's why God, now we know, we see it, that was God did not allow this kind of marriages, wicked people. Everything that probably went right now is going to go wrong. I can see it, I can tell. He brought a curse to him and to his family. And just the marriage that God did not allow, and it goes downhill. Before sunset on the 7th day, the men of the town said to him, what is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion? Samson said to them, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle. Then the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. He went down to Ashkelon, struck down 30 of their men, stripped them of everything, and gave their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. Wow. Okay. So he's using the power to get right with the enemy. And look at this. Burning with anger, he returned to his father's home. And Samson's wife was given to one of his companions who had attended him at the feast. As we know that the Philistines, they were over, and she was a Philistine. So her wife, they gave it to one of his companions. Says he came with 30 companions. So one of his companions got his wife. So no matter what he did, but I say he is anger, burning with anger. Where that anger came from? I say as you can see, slowly by slowly, the enemy take a hold on him. Like a little bit at the time, he went to the wrong wife, even though they took it away from her and gave it to one of his companions. Alrighty. Wow. To be continued. So we do study the life of Samson, that we learn We learn things, what to do and what not to do. And wisdom is the key. But we see even Solomon, with so much wisdom, he fell. So, but obedience, I would say, it's first rather than wisdom. We need obedience. If you have obedience and you obey the word of the Lord, and you obey what He's like put you in that culture, and to obey that, to follow that culture, you should have no problem. Even though you don't have wisdom, if you obey. So be obedient is what we learn from this specific section. Obedience is the key. Now, maybe you didn't hear the voice of the Lord, or you don't know how that works. Still, obedience. God put you in the culture, follow that culture. Do not get a marriage with somebody. Just say you are saved. God saved your soul through Jesus Christ. You will not go with wicked people and marry one of them. You should marry the one that his or her soul is saved as well. That makes sense? But Samson went against, and that doesn't take you right. That didn't take him right. So that's the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed. Till next time, I say goodbye. Goodbye now.